Good day, Tamers. We're now back with a BT12 build of the beautiful Impy Boys, and it's a delight to be skating in paint. So, we keep the Gallantmon, and we keep the Pagamon. Now, for those of you who prefer the way around, you could do this, but you change the build a bit. If you want to have more Pagamons, or you need more of these Impmons, if you don't care about deleting early in game, which you still kind of should, then you go for the Gallantmons, and you just go crazy here. Now, with the access to the new X-Antibody stuff, you do trash a hell of a lot of cards by just swinging with this deck. But let's go over our new card in Impmon X Antibody. One play, and when digivolving, by trashing one option card from your hand, you may reveal one Digimon card with Evil, Wizard, or Demon Lord in its traits from your trash to your hand. You're trashing a load of things. This thing says don't worry about it, and you just drag everything back to your hand. This is so good, because Purple does use the trash as its second hand, and it makes so much sense. And I hate the fact that the goddamn Gallantmon X Antibody doesn't do something similar. I hate it. But this is fantastic. I love this. And this is probably why Gallantmon sucks compared to this deck. Oh, God. Don't tempt me. I love Gallantmon, but crash. On deletion, trash top 3 cards. We've been through this before. Stack it with this guy over here, and you just essentially mill your deck out and have a great time. On play, trash one card from your hand, and if you do, return 7 Great Demon Lords or 3 Musketeers. Fun fact, now that you can just trash one card from your hand here, you can either trash the old 7th Fault Cluster, if you want to, just to make it a little bit easier on yourself when you do go up into your X Antibody here, as you just go back to the deck so you don't move yourself out. The old Impmon from EX2, unfortunately I can't add the alt art like we got in the structure deck, because the alt art is actually really nice, but unfortunately we are stuck with this one because I don't like the goddamn EX2 rookie alts. I thought they did a terrible job of those. On play, reveal top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card with Beelzy in its name and 1 Iron Mako. Books them to your hand, placing the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. You don't have to run this now, because you can run this one, so you can run this one, run more of these, run more of these. It's down to you. Some people still like to have the extra DP, because the DP is pretty good. But again, it's down to how you feel and want to compensate for your own deck's destruction. Again, things like Beelzemon, 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 Beelzemon. Unfortunately, Beelstar is not, but I'd like it if she was also considered. Beelzemon would make more sense in this deck. Beelzemon, and then you run 2 of the newer Iron Makos, just because gaining memory a little bit and being able to like displace your trash is fun. So we have the new Impmon is when attacking, if you have 20 cards or more in trash, this Digimon can digivolve into a Beelzemon, and your trash for a Digivolution card are free, ignoring its Digivolution requirements. Pretty good, especially if it is more later games. You do get to take this out of security maybe and then swing and have a good old blast of a good time. Your turn was returned when a card is trashed from your deck. Deal with your opponent's level 3 Digimon. Really good. Look at you, memory blockers. The new Wizzy Boy is on Digivolving. Trash the top 2 cards off your deck. If this Digimon has a Wizardmon or X Antibody in its Digivolution cards, this Digimon gains blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. When attacking was returned, trash the top 2 cards of your deck. Awesome. Wizardmon's still the same. This goes trash from your deck, gain a memory, and then reveal 1 purple card from your hand, is at the top of your deck. Then presumably trash some stuff. Beelzemon X, when Digivolving, return 1 X Antibody from your trash to your hand. So we did say over here that you could just trash a card, right? And 1 option card. So if you just want to trash your X Antibody because you know you got this line, you don't have to worry about Digivolving up and not getting blocker or whatever you want to do, you can bring back the X Antibody from your trash, which is really good for other things in this deck. When Digivolving, trash the top 3 cards of your deck. If this Digimon has Beelzemon or X Antibody in its Digivolution cards, delete 1 of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Again, we are deleting things because this deck just likes to delete things by levels, which is definitely a purple thing to do continuously. And then, inherited effect, while you have a Digimon with Wizard or Demon Lord in its traits, it gains 2000 DP, making things chunky. And then the old Bell that we've seen before. Digivolve, trash top 3 cards of your deck, and then Digivolving until the end of your opponent's next turn. Again, on deletion, if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, you may play 1 Beelzemon from your trash without paying its memory cost. To be fair, I understand why this doesn't have treated as a Beelzemon, because obviously you just trash this to make this sound have constantly looping Impmon of Doom. Beelzemon X is our new one from ST12, and it's a beautiful card. When Digivolving, if this Digimon has Beelzemon or X Antibody in its Digivolution cards, or for every 10 cards in your trash, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. There's a good chance that you will be trashing 2 to 3 cards on that first swing, which sounds awful for your opponent, not so much for you. And there's a very good way of you just basically swinging the living hell into your opponent. On deletion, you may play 1 Digimon card with Impmon in its name from your trash without paying its memory cost. Again, searches, returners, crazy people, Imp stuff. If Bellstar is on the field already, then you get to have rushing Impmons. You can probably go into this guy and do a hell of a lot of damage. To be fair, though, you can go into this card first, which we'll talk about in a second, swing for the extra security attacks, then go into this, trash the cards, and then Digivolve up into the blast mode, unsuspend, and then swing for game. Does it sound fun? Not for your opponent. Then we have the EX2 Beelzemon, which, when trashing your deck, you play an Impmon from your trash by paying its memory cost. Then when Digivolving or attacking, you may trash top 2 cards of your deck, then delete one of your opponent's level 2 or lower Digimon. Every 10 cards in your trash, add 1 level to that Digimon that you may remove with this effect. So again, depending on the situation, you could already have that 20. Digivolve into this. You can do the Digimon effect, trash 2 more, up a level 5. Still your turn. Swing, trash 2 more, pop another level 5. Hope you don't die. Then you can go to X antibody because you've already popped some cards. You can then remove some security. Then you can go into blast mode, and then blast mode can take out the rest of the security because it's just crazy. To be fair, though, this is here more just for a combo piece to help sort out your deck and do your trashing effects. The Structure Deck Beelzemon with the X Antibody Beelzemon are your 2 key pieces here because this will essentially swing out, take off 2 cards. This will come back in, pop 2 more cards. Your opponent probably has 0 security now, and if you've got the memory for it, which you probably will, go into blast mode, and blast mode will swing for game. Your probably first play was essentially to get an Impmon out and smash into the first security. It's already at 4, so we get to go into Beelzemon, and then into X Antibody, you trash 2 more cards, and they just have a great old time. Bellstars, spoken about before, is essentially a combo piece for getting your Impmons back out in the field, either to just refill your board, or just to continue plays, or just have rush if it's your turn so you can swing. Because you don't need to have hybrids if you've got Impmons swinging into your security, right? Blast mode, again, when this goes trash from your deck, delete one of your opponent's level 3, and then for every 10 cards after that, increases level by 1. Then when Digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon if you've got 20 more cards in your trash, gain free memory. It's a very good card, and it will also keep the inherited effect of this one here with the extra security attack. As I said before, if you're swinging with your Impmon first turn to kill something, crashes the first security. If your opponent can't recover, you'll then go to this Beelzemon, swing 2 more times. If you survive, you'll then Digivolve into the Beelze X for 1, pop 2 more security, you're at 0, and then you go into blast mode, you'll unsuspend and you'll swing for game. Assuming that you have at least 1 memory to spend. 7-fold cluster, you're literally running one of this here, and this is because when you go into your X antibody, you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you mill yourself out the following turn, or you want to be able to still trash a card so you can activate the effect of having a Impmon go to the field from your BL effects. There's rhymes and reasons, but you literally play one of it here. It's a safeguard, it's from your trash, so whenever you do Digivolve into X antibody, it just goes, time to activate, going back into the deck. When one of your Digimon Digivolves into the Beelzemon X antibody, it returns this card from your trash to the bottom of your deck. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. Again, possibly a memory setter, possibly a level 7, depending on the situation. Could be Hunter thing. Main 1, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. 7 cost, you're never ever going to do that for, but if you hit it from security, you get to trigger it twice. So you do the main effect here, which is going to delete something, and then it goes to trash, and then trash effect will then be putting it into your deck to stop yourself from decking out, hopefully for at least that 1 turn. This memory boost is still very good. A lot of people don't know if to use this anymore, or maybe just run the purple memory boosts, because you do trash a lot anyway. Getting the 2 memories is pretty good, but you kind of want to see your pieces now, more than just being in the trash. Despite the fact you can get them out of the trash, it's weird. People are weird, and I prefer this memory boost. I just wish it had like a foiling version, because it's a nice, beautiful card. Death Sling is still as a 4 of. You don't have to run it 4. I think a lot of people go between like 2 and 4 now, because when this card leaves the deck, you gain memory, and you're winning so much that there's a good chance that you will just trash multiple, just continue to gain memory. It costs 4 to delete something, and again, once you get to the point of being like 20 trash, you're just popping level 6s for 4, which is a very good and very cost-effective way of just setting your opponent. This card is trash from your deck. You may place this in the battle area, so you ignore the first effect, but for 7, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. So the opposite effect of 7th Full Cluster. Main delay. Return 1 purple Digimon card or purple Tamer card from your trash to your hand. This is really good if you want to see your Tamers again. That's down to you though. You might not want to. Lane 2, Iron Makos. Again, on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with Evil Wizard or Demon Lord in their names amongst them to your hand. Place any cards from the bottom of your deck in any order. Which is very strange, because obviously the kids, so they probably don't understand like the whole like throwing things into the trash. But I do find it strange that they didn't actually have these throw the cards in the trash. Because obviously he's like, oh, pick a card that you want, and then put the rest in the trash. So that way you just pick them in like 2 seconds time. And then your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a purple Digimon, you may suspend this Tamer to place one card from your hand to the top of your deck and add a memory. Also, it's a Tamer effect, which means that they can't be memory blocked. Do not let your opponent say that they can. It's not how it works. Now, X Entity, on the other hand, if found in security, you cannot gain that memory, but you do gain that card if there is a memory blocker on the field. Now, you can place this card on one of your Digimon X Entity in its Digivolution cards at the bottom of its Digivolution cards. Super good card. Especially in this deck now, you can just run. You can run really one of these if you really want to, because obviously there's ways of you getting it back if you lose it. Just one of the very few decks that lets you do that. Then all turns, effects can't trash X antibodies in this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Then when attacking, this Digimon can digivolve into a Digimon card with X antibody in its traits from your hand to digivolve cost. As essentially, you can do one or two things. You can either swing out with your beautiful Bales and go straight into a X antibody if you really want to, because you have this in its sources, because you're just going from X to X. You do get the effect of having the X antibody in the trait, so you do get to do every 10 cards you can pop security. I'm just missing out on the Ballantmon. It's up to you, because he's going to go 4, you're going to cost 3 and 4 and gain memory. It's a weird shenanigans, but there's more players in this deck, and the reason why the deck is so good is because it has multiple lines of play. Unfortunately, there's a good chance this deck might be getting limited in the near future because of how good it is. So, that being said, this is what ST12 looks like. This is not the same list as the one that won the Japanese final regional recently. That deck is very specifically built around having a best of one format, while this deck is built more around being able to sort of find your pieces while you do multiple games over time. 7 full cluster, again, is just because you don't want to trash yourself, you don't want to move yourself out, you just have that one extra turn just in case. And then the missed memory boosts, obviously, here, there, and everywhere. But that is it, guys. I do love this deck. I'll be playing as much as possible, and I hope we get a simulator sooner than later, because I would love to play this along with you guys and actually have some fun. So, peace out and goodbye, and we'll see you guys soon. Great day. Bye.